your shoulder width in most cases, this is a fungo, so it probably wouldn't work, is about a back length. Okay? That's in general. Now that's give or take some. But we get more than twice our shoulder width or less than twice our shoulder width, we can't create rotational force in the lower half, so we're going to have to create bat speed wear. Upper body, and when we do that, guess what? We get long and we start affecting vision and timing. Okay? So we know in the end, I'm going to end up about twice my shoulder width, about a bat length. That's usually twice your shoulder width. Okay? When you're smaller, you're using a smaller bat. So in general, it's usually about a bat length in end. That's where we want to end up in order to swing this bat with bat speed and still use the legs so I can be quick to the ball, all right, have a quiet head. So I know if that's my ending point, all right, during this, my starting point, or what we call our stance, is not always the same as my ending point because we have some movement in between. People call it different things. It's a load and it's a stride, right? It's your gear up, your building process. What's the whole purpose of that load, stride, that building process? What are we trying to do in that? Why not just start at the ending point and boom, swing the bat? Yeah, momentum helps create some bat speed. So, in general, the best vision and timing you could possibly have would be to bunt the ball. Guess what? My bat's already in the hitting zone. My head cannot be more quiet than it is right now. I'm going to see the ball great, but what am I not going to have when I bunt? Bat speed. So the further I move it back, the more bat speed I'm going to create, but the more momentum I create, the more head movement I have, and the more difficult it is to time. So it's that fine line. That's why we don't Happy Gilmore, right? Happy Gilmore created a lot of club head speed. We can hit the ball a long ways, we just get a running start, but my head's moving, I can't see the ball, my timing's almost impossible when I do that. So what's the fine line? Okay? So we start from that end goal, which is about twice my shoulder width apart. That's where I want to swing it from, right? Right? I know from the ground up right there, from that position, my hands have gotten loaded to about just beyond my shoulder, just above and back of my shoulder, about even with my back foot. My bottom hand's gotten back that far. Also in relation, in order to be quick to the ball, this bottom hand, guys, has gotten inside of this elbow when I load. People, when I go to swing the bat, if this hand is outside my elbow, is it outside my elbow right now in relation to the pitcher? Yes, guess what? That barrel is going to come around the ball. It's not going to be in the hitting zone very long. That affects my timing. So this hand, when I've loaded, guys, has gotten even with or inside of that lead elbow and back to about where my back foot is, and I'm in an athletic position, meaning my weight, my power base, my weight is inside of my feet. I'm into my legs. I've got a little flexion here. I'm tall in the waist right here. My head is upright. My eyes are on the ball. That's an athletic hitting position. If that's where I have to be to swing the bat, then I want to be just slightly closer than that in my starting position, because we do want a little bit of movement going, because it increases what again? Bat speed, right? So we want to get starting in an athletic position, whatever that athletic position. The further outside that athletic position you get, the more difficult it's going to be to recover, and the more it's going to affect vision and time. Doesn't mean you can't do it. People prove they can. I just would never take a young hitter and say, hey, let's start with this open stance and let's get that bat waggle up in here and let's get as far out of athletic as we can and see if we can recover. Not very many people are going to have success, okay? So let's start athletic and let's be minimal, all right? And so whenever you get in there to be athletic, our weight's got to be where? Inside our feet, right? So if I get this guy right here, is my weight inside my feet right now? No, my weight's over my foot, okay? And at all times, whatever you're doing for your setup, for your load and your stride, at all times, guys, keep your weight inside your feet. So this guy right here that loads onto his foot, what's happening with his head when his weight gets outside his foot? Not only does it go back, it goes backing up, right? And when we get head movement going this way and that way, vision and timing are affected. All right, so we want to be as quiet as we can with our head. Now, would you agree if I'm going to create some momentum, there's going to be some head movement? Yeah, there's going to be some head movement, but we don't want head movement that goes backing up and then comes back too, because that creates more problems. So even when I load, guys, my load should be into my back foot, not onto my back foot for that reason. We don't want this going on with our head movement. Okay, we want our head to stay here, even though we're going to agree there's going to be some head movement forward in that creating of the momentum. And when we create that momentum and we go to land, guys, once we land, where's my weight again in an athletic position? Inside of my feet. Once I land and start to swing that back, guys, the hips at that point, there's no movement with the hips or the head anymore. If the hips continue to go forward or the head continues to go forward or rise up, guess what? The barrel's going to be long and slow to the hitting zone and never going to catch up. So once I land and I start to swing that back, the hips stay centered, all right? And we're rotating around basically an axis down through the center of our body. Okay, hips no longer go forward, head no longer goes forward or up. And that's what we see in a lot of hitters. When they go to swing the bat, once they land, is this starts happening and we start coming up. All right, so in general, those three things, we want to stay athletic. So when you get in anywhere you get today, our goal is to start in an athletic position. All right, get our weight between our feet, get like you're going to guard somebody, put a bat in our hand right here, be in an athletic position with our hands, a comfortable position, because we know in the end, whatever momentum we create right there with our stride, with our load, with our hands, we want to end in a position about twice shoulder width, weight between our feet, bottom hand back to about our back foot, but inside the lead elbow, right? There will be, and we'll talk tomorrow about engaging the back elbow and engaging their hands. Okay, the back elbow might work up in some hitters, less in others, right? But the one thing that we don't want to start with is elbows out away from our body right into here. That lead elbow's got to be down and relaxed, and we've got to have a grip that's in our fingers, not back in our hands, all right, in order to maximize our bat speed. Working from where up? The ground up. Because we can get bat speed other ways, but we know it's going to affect vision and timing. And we want the best combination of those three to be the best hitter we can. Anybody have any questions? Coaches for today, study anything?